Hi there, welcome back to the ERS Grocery Fast Start video training series. This is video 3, part 1. In this video, we'll cover users and permission levels, website editing, and SEO. In the next video, we'll cover marketing, management tools, and day-to-day operations. So let's start with users by going to Admin, General Config, Users. And let's add one of our employees as a user. So I'll start with the basics. Groups enable us to give different permission levels to different users. Administrator, of course, has the highest permission level, with full access to every part of the system, whereas your drivers will have more limited access. For example, your drivers cannot access the reports. You can create new groups and edit the existing ones by clicking here. So let's create a new group for managers. I'm going to go ahead and make Administrator the parent group for this. And I'm going to go ahead and disallow reports and admin. I need to make sure to separate any entries with a comma and a space, and to match spelling and capitalization exactly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that group. And there's a bunch of other information we can put in here as well. Pay rate enables you to specify an hourly pay rate for the user. Driver's license number, insurance, and notes are pretty self-explanatory. EULA stands for End User License Agreement, which the user will be prompted to read and agree to when they first log in. Timeout in minutes allows you to log the user out automatically after a certain period of inactivity. So for example, if you want the system to log them out automatically if they haven't done anything for 5 minutes, you would just enter 5 into that field. User PIN is intended for companies that have a storefront and a cash register point of sale system, so don't worry about that setting. So now that my settings are in there, I'm going to go ahead and submit. All right, let's go ahead and learn how to edit our home page. We're going to do that at Admin, Website, Responsive Setup. And let's also open up a copy of our live website, so we can monitor our edits as we make them, and so we can discuss the basic components of a website. The part at the top, underneath the URL bar, is called the header. We can see our company logo, phone number, and email in that header. And to the right, some links. Those links are what we call the website navigation, or the nav bar. The part of the web page all the way down at the bottom is called the footer. And everything between the header and footer is what we call the body of the web page. So if we go back into the control panel, we can set a different style for the header with this menu right here. And we can do the same for the footer right here. Then when we go back to the front end, if we click refresh, we can see our new header and our new footer. And I prefer the way it was before, so I'm going to go ahead and change it back. All right, so now that I've settled on a header and footer style, let's go ahead and edit the body of the home page. And we're going to do that by finding Home under Your Web Pages and clicking on the little pencil icon. So that opens up an editable version of the page. The body of a web page consists of what we call style sections, one on top of the other. So for example, on this web page, we have 2 banner image style sections with a red call to action underneath, another banner image, some header text, paragraph text, and an itemized list. To edit the content of a style section, simply click on the content, make your edits, and click Update. To change formatting, you can hover over the Style section and click on this little pen in the upper right-hand corner. That brings up every version of the Style section, and you can choose which version you'd like. In this case, I'd like to center justify the text, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. To add a new Style section, hover over the gear, and in the 3 little boxes, if you see the Style section you're looking for, you can go ahead and click and drag it into place. If you don't see it, you can click on Change Style, which brings up a menu of all the available style sections. And let's go with a YouTube video. So then we simply click and drag the style section into place, and the little blue dots tell us where it's going to go. I'm going to go ahead and edit the title and text. And then we're going to go to YouTube, find the video we'd like to put in there, and then we're going to copy and paste the sequence of characters at the end of the URL. Then when we go back into the responsive editor, we can click on the YouTube video and replace the characters at the end of this embed code with the characters from our video. And then once we update, our video is now in place. Now I'd like to ensure our customers see this when they very first go to this web page. So I'm going to put it at the top of the web page, or what we call above the fold. Above the fold means that it's part of what your customers see when they first visit your website, regardless of whether they're doing so on a computer, tablet, or phone. So that typically consists of the header plus the top 1 or 2 style sections. So in order to move this style section to the top, we need to go to this little cross icon and click and drag it into place. Now, as I'm looking at this page, I like the style of these 2 banners where the text is on opposite sides And I'd like to duplicate that alternating pattern here. And I also feel like this video embed window is a little bit large. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the pen and choose this style section. All right, this is good for now, so I want to save my changes. So I'm going to hover over the gear again and click on Save. Then when we go to the live website and refresh the page, we can see all of our edits. So let's test our links. It's always a good idea to test all of the links on your website, and I will do that, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that during this video. But one thing that's important to note is the format of this web page. It's always going to be either your folder name.ourers.com or your website domain /order-form/ the name of your grocery delivery service item, with any spaces between the words replaced by underscores. So as we referenced in the second video, if you change the name of your grocery delivery service item, you also want to change the URLs on your links. So let's take a look at the format of these links in the responsive editor. In order to do that, we're just going to click everywhere we know there is a link. And in this case, we're not going to change out the image. It's the link and alt fields in the upper right-hand corner that we're concerned with. Anywhere you see an area to input a link in the responsive editor, if it's an internal link, meaning a link going to a page on your website, you can just put everything from the URL bar that comes after the website domain or your folder name. This is called a relative link. So for example, in this case, I can leave out the noahgrocerydemo.ourers.com. I just need to make sure to put everything that comes after that. In the alt field, I want to put a brief text description of the contents of the photo. Alt tags are one of the attributes that Google and other web search engine companies look at for SEO rankings. So if you have images on your website that don't have alt tags, it can hurt your rankings. It's also important for handicap accessibility. People with visual impairment use what's called screen reading software. Since they can't see the content of a photo, they rely on this screen reading software to read the alt tag for a description of what the photo depicts. Not all images carry alt tags. For example, background images don't. So a good rule of thumb is if you're working in the responsive editor uploading or editing an image, and you see a field to enter in an alt tag, do it. And if you don't see such a text field, that image can't have an alt tag, so don't worry about it. All right, so the image has an alt tag and the link is formatted properly, so I don't need to change anything here. So let's learn how to create a new web page and edit the navigation of our site. We're going to go to Admin, Website, Website Pages. So let's go ahead and add a new page. And most of the time, the only fields we really need to fill out in here are name and path. Path should always begin and end with a slash, and there should always be an underscore between words. Let's go ahead and submit. And let's edit the web page at the same spot we edited our home page, Admin Website Responsive Setup. So now we can see About Us showing up underneath our web pages. Let's click here to make it a responsive page, and then let's click here to edit the page. All right, I will make some more edits to this page later, but right now I'd like to take a look at it on the live website and test the links. But as of now, the page is not in the navigation. We only have two pages in the navigation right now, the ordering form and the home page. So let's go back into the control panel to Admin, Website, Website Editor. So I'm thinking I'd like to put this About Us page to the right of the home page. So I just need to navigate to that spot and click on the add symbol. Whatever we put in the page title field is what's going to display on the navigation bar. And I'll choose the corresponding page path, and then we can save our changes. So when we open up the live website again, we can see our nav bar is now updated. And let's test that page. All right, looks like it's working properly. Now, any discussion of websites would not be complete if we didn't talk about SEO. The ERS system does lots of things under the hood like caching, automatic formatting of photos for quick page load speeds, and other things that help you under the hood to get good SEO results. But ultimately, good SEO results are all about good content. In this case, when we say content, we're talking about the text that's on your website. Google and other web search engine companies have what they call crawlers. These web crawlers are literally robots that crawl the internet to find websites and interpret the content they find to index those pages for search results. So these web crawlers have been trained with complex algorithms to understand English. So for example, if the words grocery delivery or groceries delivered, we deliver groceries, things like that involve those combinations of words are peppered all throughout your website, it's pretty clear to the web crawlers that this is a grocery delivery company. So when you're creating content for your website, try to think of keywords that your customers will enter into search bars to search for a company that does the kinds of services you offer. And try to put language on your website that matches those words, while still keeping a conversational tone so it doesn't seem obvious. Another important piece of content that Google and other companies are crawling is your meta tags. Meta tags consist of three things: HTML titles, meta keywords, and meta descriptions. The HTML title is the little snippet of text that appears next to the favicon in your browser tab. HTML titles should be 60 characters or fewer, and it should not be complete sentences, just the most basic descriptions of your services, your service areas, and whatever other high-impact keywords you think will affect your search results positively. Meta description is typically the text displayed underneath the link whenever you do a Google search. It's important to note that sometimes Google and other search engine companies choose to place some other text there rather than the meta description, but more often than not it is the meta description that they put there. A meta description should be 160 characters or fewer, and it should be one or two brief sentences packed with relevant and important keywords and information about your company. And meta keywords are just individual words separated by a comma and space that talk about what a web page is about. It's important to note that Google ignores meta keywords entirely. For a while there, people were trying to game the system with meta keywords, and Google found it was too easy to do that, so they essentially just stopped looking at them for search results. So there are some SEO experts who will tell you that it's not worth doing. However, Yahoo and Bing do look at meta keywords a little bit. So while I'd say it's not worth spending a ton of time on, it is worth putting in anywhere from 10 to 15 meta keywords for each of your pages. Another important element of SEO is being registered on Google My Business. This is where your company's address has a pin on Google Maps. You should have received a postcard when you signed up for Google My Business, and you should have a login where you can manage your profile. If you haven't done this yet, or you're not sure if you've done it, please feel free to reach out to me and I will help you through that process. You can reach me at noah@eventrentalsystems.com. That's NOAH@eventrentalsystems.com. In general, I encourage you to stick with information that's pretty recent, as SEO is a constantly evolving thing. And while sometimes an outside expert can be helpful, I urge you to exercise caution. To be blunt, there are some scam artists in SEO land, so make sure to do your due diligence before you hire anyone for that. And please do feel free to reach out to us if you have any further questions about SEO. We do offer some basic SEO services, and we'll be happy to refer you to some people we trust if you need more involved help. Alright, that about wraps it for this video. I hope this was helpful. Please stay tuned for video 3 part 2, where we'll cover marketing, management tools, and day-to-day operations. Friendly reminder, anytime you're working in the back end of the system and you have questions, the knowledge base is your friend. And of course, also the tech support department, who you can reach at 505-435-9731, extension 102, or support@eventrentalsystems.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.